Thank you. This is a 4-year-old girl who was born in some part of Africa. In 1958, she was taken to Brussels in Belgium, where she was put on display as a part of a popular European tradition of human zoos. In fact, human zoos remain one of Europe's most shameful secrets, a practice which continued until late 1950s. Not so long ago, people in Belgium, in Germany, and several other European countries traveled to these zoos to see caged up humans, some of whom were there simply because they were albinos, dwarves, hunchbacks, or black. In fact, for a long time, nobody even realized that there was anything with this tradition where tickets were sold at a profit to see fellow humans caged up. When human life first evolved, we lived as hunter and gatherer tribes until civilization took its current form. When these tribes came in contact, it wasn't always peaceful. In fact, a lot of times a stronger tribe would decimate a weaker tribe. In fact, living in our modern day cities with metros and 16 Mbps Wi-Fi, we might find it strange that there are still hundreds of tribes across the world who live oblivious to what we call the ways of the modern world. Today I'm here to talk about two types of tribes living right here in India, in the southeastern extreme of the country, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The first type of tribe is the kind which throws spears at whoever tries to approach them. Their island is considered one of the hardest places to visit in the world, and we know as little about that island as we know about the flows of our oceans. Whenever attempts have been made to approach them, they've either gestured asking to be left alone or thrown arrows at them, as can be seen in this picture shot from a helicopter. The second type of tribe is the kind which opens to the outer world. In the 1800s, when the British first went to the Andamans, it had more than 100 number of tribes, some of which had more than thousands of members. And rampant killing and spreading of diseases, epidemics like syphilis and measles led to decimating of several of these tribes. One such tribe was the Boer tribe, which lost its last living member in 2007, who was a lady called Boa Senior, whose tribe paid a price for opening up to the outer world. But whatever has happened, and it's not in our power to change the past. Today I'm here to talk about a tribe which we can choose to save or let go. I'm talking about the Jarawa Tribe, which has 400 members left. The government has allotted a certain stretch of land to the Jarawa Tribe. But we made a road through the land, which has brought us right in the middle of their Jarawa Reserve. Tour operators operate a tour through their land and promote it, calling it Human Safari, where they assure you of promised sightings of the Jarawa Tribe members. The Jarawa Tribe has lived in the Andaman Islands for 65,000 years without any contact with the outer world, which is why when construction workers first went to construct this road, they attacked the construction workers. In 2012, a video went viral internationally in which some Jarawa women were made to dance in exchange for bananas by an onlooker. Over the years, there have been multiple instances of sexual exploitation of the Jarawas. In fact, a few years ago, according to some reports, a Jarawa woman gave birth to the tribe's first non-Jarawa baby, a result of forced sex by an outsider. The Jarawa girls complain that the locals are entering their huts, being drunk on alcohol and high on marijuana, and forcing themselves upon them and touching them inappropriately. And yet, little is done to save the Jarawa women. The Jarawas are not immune to the diseases of the modern world, and there have been multiple instances of Measles Outbreak, a disease which is notorious for wiping away several civilizations. The locals are entering their huts and giving them drugs, alcohol and tobacco, making them dependent on them, and exploiting them in exchange for these commodities that they never wanted. The poachers are eating their food, affecting their self-sufficiency. The Jarawas deserve a right to decide whether they want to be left alone or they want to be intermingled with the outer world, as the current arrangement is definitely affecting their sense of identity. And yet, a road remains open through their land, taking hundreds of tourists every day leaving them like caged up humans, much like the 4-year-old little girl in Brussels in Belgium in 1958. We need to close down this road, as has been asked by the Supreme Court and the UN. And in 2014, the government announced that they'll start work on an alternative sea route, which will make sure that fewer and fewer people will go by this road. I was introduced to the Jarawas when I was traveling to the Andamans, and I was perturbed by how little is known of them in the Indian mainland. I decided to find out more, and I met several activists in India and Survival International in London and filed an RTI to gather more information. If you believe that the Jarawas deserve a right to decide whether they want to be left alone or intermingled with the outer world, I'd request you to take out a minute and show your support. Thank you.